Okay, so this young gentleman was starting a company and he asked me if I could take a look at his ukuleles because he wants to make sure that he provides the highest quality possible. So he wants someone to play with them and give him feedback on how to improve them. I really loved his email because he said, like, I want you to tell me how to improve these so that when they're ready to be sold, they can be good quality. And that to me just, I love that he's putting like the customer first, you know, by providing a quality product. And you can never go wrong by providing quality to people. By the way, if you're a ukulele beginner or if you're about to be a ukulele beginner, subscribe to this channel. I'm a music teacher and I will teach you how to play the instrument from scratch. Because this person asked for my feedback and they're thinking about starting their brand and selling ukuleles, I'm going to be very honest with them and tell them the good, the bad, and the ugly. Okay. So, because you sent me this ukulele, but it didn't come in a gig bag, I don't need a gig bag, by the way. If not having a gig bag means you can keep costs down, that's fine, because there are people looking for the most affordable alternative sometimes. The only problem is that in shipment, this one got like damaged and the little tip on the back chipped off. So if possible, when you're sending out your ukuleles, at least wrap this head because you have this very nice pointed headstock. So I do like the headstock because as soon as I pulled the ukulele out, it caught my attention because it's different. And now I'm looking at so many ukuleles, both in my classroom and through PR, that when something is different, it stands out to me. And so this very pointed headstock stood out to me. The next thing that got my attention was that the tuners looked like they were really nice quality. So good job there. Now where the head meets the nut, that is fine. And then the action's really nice and low, which is what I would want for a beginner or someone who is thinking about starting, because the bar chords will be so much easier for them. Now when I look really closely at where the wood of the fingerboard meets the nut, I see chipped or cracked wood. So and that's both on the head and on the fingerboard side. I'm not sure if that happened because it was like shipped and sent to like China and Japan, and I don't know where this went. But yeah, just know that there is like cracked wood here. And because you're still starting your company, you want to choose a name so that you can put it up here, put it somewhere. So your branding. The fret wires are really smooth and sanded down, so I do appreciate that. And then the binding here that you have on the ukulele and that matches the fingerboard is a really good aesthetic move, I think. And it helps to make this feel that much softer. You do have the fret markers on the side, which I think are essential for a beginner. Moving down the ukulele, at the bottom of the fingerboard, you've done such a good job with your binding that I would almost expect it to also happen at the bottom here of the fingerboard, but it doesn't. So I don't know if the viewers will agree, but to me it looks incomplete. Like you have this beautiful lining and then boop, it's not there. So I don't know, let me know in the comments what you think if you're watching this. Sound hole is fine, the bridge and saddle are fine. The only thing that stood out to me, and if you know more about this, please comment below. Usually the strings are tied from G to C to E to A, like that way, but these strings were tied towards G. So I don't think I've ever seen that before, but correct me if I'm wrong. As far as the parts that come together, it all looks nice and smooth. I mean, no complaints there. I like the strap buttons. So yeah, and then the strings are really easy to press down. It's very comfortable. Okay, so I can do like... So now I'm curious to know what you're going to name your company or your brand or your instruments. I do think about that sometimes. Like if I started a ukulele like model or something, what would I name it? Oh, you guys, give me ideas. What should I name my ukulele if I ever design one? That would be really fun. And if you come up with an idea that can be an inside joke, even better. Okay, the second ukulele is blue. It's blue. We love blue instruments in this channel. Oh, this kind of reminds me of the ADM ukulele. Yeah, the tuning is crazy. Okay, so let's talk about what we see here on the ukulele, just first impressions. And then after tuning it, I'll do a little playing demo. The nut is very big. And so it makes me think like, whoa, that is way too big. If the ukulele looks like it's a children's ukulele, I would want the nut to be smaller and shorter so that the strings are not quite so high off of the fingerboard, because for a student, pressing G7 would be really painful with such high action. The strings are also tied this way. I don't know why that looks so weird to me. Okay, the painting of the blue did bleed slightly into the fingerboard, so that looks like it was painted a little bit without attention to detail. So when I pick up the ukulele and I look at the front of it and I see the blue going into the fingerboard, it makes me think, oh, this is just very cheap. And not affordable. I mean cheap as in low quality. So something to consider. And then here at the sound hole, the paint also looks, I don't know if it's chipped or because the wood is a little bit like serrated, it looks like the paint is chipped. So a recommendation is, if that's just the natural wood and it has that texture, maybe make that inner circle black so that it doesn't make it look like it was painted carelessly. The paint job overall looks pretty decent except in the fingerboard, but everything else nice and smooth. Very cute color. I think that if I handed this to a child, they would be really excited because of the color. We have the fret markers at 5, 7, and 10. I appreciate fret markers. There are none on this side. The ukulele is very flat. Okay, so bad news. This ukulele is refusing to tune. So what's happening is that I'm trying to tune it up to a G, but it kind of gets there and then it goes, like it goes back flat. And I don't want to force it because I could pop the string. And I mean, I don't want to do that. I would want to test the instrument. Out of the two instruments, I can definitely see more quality in this one. I really do like both the look and feel of it, and I was able to get it in tune, so I was able to test it. So as long as you look at those little details that I mentioned earlier, I think you could have a really great instrument. And I think that this might even appeal to music teachers who need to buy an affordable class set. And this one has a strap button, so it would be fun for the kids to make their own straps out of yarn or something like that, like a little DIY project, and this be a class set of ukuleles. Overall, I think that the fact that you're asking for feedback is really good, and I hope that the viewers will also give their comments down below so that you can hear what the audience thinks as well. Alrighty guys, I hope that you enjoyed this ukulele assessment and that you'll subscribe to the channel. See you in the next one. Sayonara!